Hey there, welcome to Chief's Shop. Today in my quick look I show you the Triton router. Triton is an Australian based company. It's a little new to us folks in the US. The rest of the world I think they're pretty well known. They started off in the mid 70s with a saw bench, which we would refer to as a table saw here in the States, and have progressed up from then on. This is being made available in the US through a partnership with Craig as far as a distribution opportunity there, and I've seen it retailed in a brick and mortar situation at Woodcraft, so there's one thing to look at. About $250 for this tool, which is comparable to a DeWalt, I'd say. This is a 2 horsepower router, plunge router. Little different design than probably what we're used to with, let's say, a Bosch or a Skill or a Hitachi. It's more we're used to that kind of the cylinder barrel base housing for the motor. This is a little more rectangular in shape, I'd say. Other than that, pretty much same features that you would see in a plunge router. Nice way to adjust the plunge base. A little button on the handle here releases it. I can raise and lower it. One thing I really like about it is changing the bits out. One tool, so if you're used to a let's say a Bosch, when you've got 2 wrenches you're working with, this is one. So it's pretty easy. So you can remove it, back in, tighten it. You've got bushings where you can take 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch bits. This is obviously a 1/2 inch. This is a bit, straight edge bit that came with it. A Triton brand bit. Now, one thing, when it's in the fully plunged position, you cannot accidentally turn it on. This is one feature that kind of tripped me up when I took it right out of the box, because it was in the completely plunged position. I don't have this plugged in, by the way, so don't worry. When it's in that completely plunged position, the cover guard for the switch cannot be open. So it took me a little while and some reading in the manual to figure that out. So you Aussies watching this are going to laugh at me about that, but anyway, something new for me. But when you release it out of that position, you can now release that cover. Switch goes on, it holds the cover in place open. That's kind of a nice feature. It's a little awkward though, turning that switch on, I think, if you see how I'm holding it. But maybe not any more awkward than any of the others, but something to get used to. I will turn it on, plug it in and turn it on now, so you can see one feature I didn't particularly care for, but it's not a big deal. If you've owned a Hitachi router, some of those models you're used to a slow start, gradual start. This model does not have that. So it kicks right on, as you'll see in just a second. So it's a little bit of a jump. If you're not used to that, that could be an issue. Not a big deal there, so wouldn't worry about that too much. So I think it's a decent router. Is it anything super great beyond anything else? I wouldn't say that it is. This particular piece of machinery is manufactured in Taiwan, which I don't think there's much that's not nowadays, so that part of the world anyway, so not that big a deal. Seems to be pretty solid construction, pretty lightweight, I would say. It's pretty easy to handle. A little bit getting used to positioning of some of the controls on it. There's a micro adjust as well, which is nice, of course. I think it worked pretty well in my testing. I just did some straight plunging. Didn't do anything crazy with it. I want to test it a little bit more. on some coming projects. I've got some projects that I will use it on just to test it out for sure. Like I said, in the box you get that bit. You also get what you would expect, a little guide there. This is another guide that comes with it that allows you to basically do, it's a circle cutting guide essentially, which is nice that it comes with that. You don't have to pick one up aftermarket or build your own. Well, I hope you enjoyed this quick look at the Triton router. If you're in the market for a router, it's probably not a bad one to get. You know, it's not as readily available as some of the other brands at big box stores, Lowe's or Home Depot, but you can get it at Woodcraft, and last I checked, and order it online as well. Well, as I always say, time to get off the computer, get back in the shop, and make some sawdust.